How's it going, guys? In this video, I'm going to be showing you exactly how I got my client Larry to lose 27 pounds in 3 months through working with me and the meal plan that I created for him. And I'm also going to be going through exactly my process when it comes to making meal plans, how I do it for all of my clients, because I firmly believe that a strong meal plan is the key to success when it comes to dieting, building muscle, whatever it may be. Macro tracking is great. But I think if you're really trying to see consistent results, sticking to a set of meals that your body can adapt to is always going to give you the best results because you're not fluctuating water from changing up certain meals. And if you can really be on a good meal plan that you enjoy every single day, it's going to make the process really effortless and you're just going to see the body fat fall off your body, just like we got for my guy Larry over here. So he started on December 31st. He was around 242 pounds. And this picture is March 16th at 219 pounds, but it is now April 21st. And he texted me yesterday that he is at 214 pounds or 215 pounds. Sorry. So it's been 27 pounds since the start. Now, me and Larry had a specific goal in mind, and we still do, to reach 200 pounds by his daughter's graduation in June. So we still have, ample time to do this, given that he's 215 pounds and we're losing around 2 pounds per week rate of loss. So when it comes to making meal plans, my first initial thing that I do with clients when I'm onboarding them is I want to find as much as I can about the person, what their lifestyle is like, how many times a week they train, when they train, how many meals they prefer to eat a day, what their food preferences are, and what type of meals they like to eat, and also what their work schedule is. So that way I can build the meals around that, because meal timing is very important. When you're training is very important, and what you're fueling what you're giving your body pre and post workout is going to be the most important thing when you're dieting, because training output and performance is going to be key when it comes to retaining muscle, building more muscle, and just making sure that you got that strong foundation and you keep all the muscle that you had through your bulking or whatever it is that you're doing in specific. So those are going to be the most important things. Once I gather up that information, I usually estimate a maintenance calories. I use, maintenance calorie calculator online, but at this point I'm pretty good at what I do. So I don't really need to look at that. I just kind of guess in my head, and then it's usually pretty right. And in Larry's case, or when I'm working with somebody that starts at a higher body fat percentage, I usually don't really try to find their exact maintenance. I more shoot for a rate of loss. So I guesstimated that Larry's maintenance was around 3,100 calories, given his height, weight, his age, and how active he is. So he was consistently hitting around 10,000 steps, eating a clean diet, and also working out with weights 5 to 6 times a week. Based on his weight, I was like, you know what? He's probably burning around 3,100 calories, and my estimation was right. Initially, I aimed to start him at 2,100 calories or around there, which would leave for around 2 pounds rate of loss per week, because there's 3,500 calories in a pound. So if you're trying to lose 2 pounds a week, you'd want to be in 1,000 calorie deficit every single day. Now, this can be created through moving more, reducing food. But in Larry's case, I didn't want to bring him down too low in calories. I just wanted to make sure that he's keeping his activity up, and we incorporated around 20 to 25 minutes of steady state cardio every single day to ensure that he was, leaving enough room for food. So finding everything about Larry, he works in security. His job usually has him working at night. So this is something that, is very important when you're trying to build a meal plan or something in specific, is you need to know when somebody's going to be moving around a lot, or when somebody needs a bigger meal, or when somebody, work schedule works in that way. So he always has time to train in the morning. I always like to have people fast if their schedule allows for it. I work with people that work 9 to 5s, or I even work with a guy that works in a prison that works from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. And I have to make his meal plan around that. So in Larry's case, he works at night and he likes to train in the early afternoon. So I had him fasting until around 11 a.m. and then he was going to have his breakfast or pre-workout meal. Now, when it comes to pre and post-workout meals, they're going to be the most important things. So that's what I usually start with. So after I have all the information, I take out my phone and I go on MyFitnessPal. Now, MyFitnessPal is extremely easy when it comes to figuring out macro amounts, calorie amounts, and everything that you need in between, the nutrients and all that in a diet. So that's exactly what I do. I start off on the page, just a blank page, and this is kind of my workspace. So I think about exactly based on the foods that he told me he likes, what I can do. And I usually start with the pre and post workout meal because, like I said earlier, these are going to be the two most important meals because it's going to be giving him his training output. It's going to make sure that he's building muscle, retaining his muscle. So when it comes to a pre and post workout meal, you mainly want these to be consisting of protein and carbs. You want more carbs pre-workout and less carbs post-workout, but you still want carbs pre and post. And you want less protein pre-workout and more protein post-workout because you're breaking your muscles down and you need protein to repair them. So that's why you'd want to have more after and a little bit less before. So that way you can just digest the carbs really easily and, you get a really good workout and a good pump because that's what everybody wants. They want that pump. They want that blood flow. So Larry loves eggs, so that was going to be his protein source. So 2 eggs and 200 grams of egg whites is what I thought of would be a perfect amount for Larry when it comes to his protein. Egg whites are a ton of volume, so when you're dieting somebody, I usually like to take out as many eggs as I can and just mainly put in egg whites for that. You need a lot of fats, or you need enough fats to regulate hormonal production, but I like to usually put that more towards beef or something that has more nutrients in it. And, eggs are very nutrient dense, but I feel like you get more volume of food from beef if you're going to be getting the majority of your fats from that. So 2 eggs, 200 grams of egg whites. And then now we need his carb source. Larry likes sourdough bread. So I thought, let's do sourdough bread. We do 50 grams or 1 slice of sourdough bread from Trader Joe's, 1 banana sliced up and put on top, and then half a tablespoon of honey, which is half of a serving. There's 21 grams of honey in a serving, so it's around 11 grams, but I just did half a tablespoon. So then he's going to drizzle that on top. Really delicious meal. Eat the eggs on one plate, eat the honey and the sourdough bread with banana on another plate. Then you wait around 30 to 45 minutes, go to the gym and train. Post-workout, you want something that's easily digestible, good amount of protein, good amount of carbs. So I thought chicken breast, very easy to digest, 7 ounces. You always want to weigh your meat raw, 7 ounces of chicken breast and 6 ounces of sweet potato. Now, I always like to do sweet potato when I'm dieting somebody because sweet potato is more volume. You can chop it up into little sweet potato fries, or you can do whatever you want with it. It's more volume. And, I think it works a little bit better in that sense of keeping you satiated. So these 2 meals, Larry trains around 11:30, works out for 45 minutes to an hour based on the training program I have him on. And then he does his cardio. So by this time, he's going to be, leaving the gym probably around like 1:32. That's a good amount of time. So now he had the initial fast where he wasn't eating. Then he had his pre-workout meal. And then he's now going to have his post-workout meal. So he's only 495 calories in right now, but he's halfway through the day. So now he has a huge allowance of calories, which is going to be great because it's going to allow him to feel better at work when he's working later. And we can really save up for that big meal that I like to have. Most of my clients have. It's like the big feast that they get. And then he's going to have his post-workout meal, which is 7 ounces of chicken breast, weighed raw, and 6 ounces of cooked sweet potato. Now, it's probably around 2:30 when he has this meal. He's probably showered up, had the meal. He's gonna be full for another like 2-3 hours before he goes to work. So now it's like 5:30 or 6. This is where we have his biggest meal. Larry likes burgers, so I was like, let's do a burger meal. So we got 10 ounces of 93.7 beef split into 2 5-ounce patties, 1 keto bun, and 1 regular sesame bun. See, this is a good thing. This is when the creative mind comes into play. Sean, creative mind. You get 1 keto bun. They're all right. They're good. And then you get 1 sesame bun. So now you get that nice sesame bun. It's regular amount of calories. It's great. Then you get 2 slices of non-fat cheese, American singles, 1 on each burger, and then 2 eggs, 1 egg on each burger. Now you're eating 2 big-ass burgers for dinner. You're going to be full for a very long time He's going to be full for like 3-4 hours, go to work. He's going to be able to perform well at work. And then I gave him a little snack that he gets to have at work. 250 grams plain non-fat Greek yogurt, 1 scoop of Ultimate Muscle protein powder. This is just the protein powder I give to my clients. I think it tastes really good. I've had it since I was a little kid. It mixes really well with the Greek yogurt. And 70 grams of blueberries. Not a lot of carbs at night. You don't really want that because it's just going to spike your blood sugar levels. But blueberries are good. They're very low calorie, and it's just a little bit of more added volume. So now I'm going to be breaking down the macros and the total calories for Larry's meal plan. So meal 1, 495 calories, 38 grams of protein, 11 grams of fat, and 60 grams of carbs. You want a lot of carbs pre-workout, like I said earlier. So this is a solid meal. Not a lot of fats, but enough fats, and a good amount of protein, 38 grams, and then, the carbs, which is going to give him good training output. He got stronger throughout this whole dieting phase while losing 27 pounds. So that's just incredible. And then post-workout, 7 ounces of chicken breast, 6 ounces of cooked sweet potato. This meal totals in at 490 calories, 66 grams of protein, 7 grams of fat, and 37 grams of carbs. Again, less carbs post-workout, more carbs pre-workout. He's around 100 carbs into the day. And then he has a lot of carbs, or he has still a good amount of carbs for his dinner. The dinner, this is his big feast, biggest meal of the day, middle of the day. That's how you want it. You really want it like that. You don't want to be feeling really hungry at night, like you're going to binge or eat food off your diet. That's where most people go wrong, is they are eating constantly throughout the day, spiking their blood sugar levels and not really getting that full feeling that you want. You want that bigger meal, middle of the day, closer to the time where you're going to go to bed. 930 calories, 89 grams of protein, 44 grams of fat, 44 grams of carbs. Great meal. Going to keep him really full and just give him that energy that he needs at work. And then the snack, small snack, 295 calories, 43 grams of protein, 3 grams of fat, and 24 grams of carbs. This is honestly the most dialed in meal plan that you could get, to be honest. The total calories is 2,210 calories and 236 grams of protein, 65 grams of fat, and 165 grams of carbs. Now, why is the protein so high? Protein is the most satiating macronutrient. It's going to keep you really full. And it also is really important when it comes to building muscle, retaining muscle. Like I said, he's 242 pounds at the start when I made up this meal plan. So you want to make sure you don't need that much protein. He'd probably only need around 190 grams probably 190 grams of protein to retain all of his lean mass. But you can't go wrong bringing the protein even higher, because you're just making sure you're constantly going through muscle protein synthesis. You're just giving your body an excess amount of protein. So it's just going to love that, and it's going to keep you full. And then the 65 grams of fat, you need enough fats to regulate hormonal production. I would never recommend going lower than 20% of your total calories coming from fat, unless you're prepping for a bodybuilding show and you want to get hyper lean and you really need to reduce your calories a ton. But I wouldn't recommend doing this for a very long period of time, because you will crash your hormones. You will crash your tests, and you will feel like dog shit. So make sure you're getting enough fats in your diet. And then 165 grams of carbs. You don't need any more than this when you're dieting. 165 grams of carbs is plenty of carbs to give you a good pre and post workout meal, and then still a little bit more with your dinner, whatever, whenever you work out. This is solid. It's solid. Main thing is going to be the protein and fats. Those are the two necessary macros. Carbs are not necessary, but I always keep carbs in diets. I never take out carbs completely, because I think that's really stupid approach, because most people like carbs, and if you take out carbs, you're just going to feel pretty bad, I think, unless you really like doing keto. But yeah, the main thing is going to be the calories. Like I said, he's in 1,000 calorie deficit, losing 2 pounds a week. That's what you need. You need the macro breakdown for your body that's going to work best for your body. And this is just kind of how I go about it. I hope you guys learned something from this. I'm going to post this on my school community. If you're interested in joining it, just DM me on Instagram and I can get you in. I'm going to be posting a ton of modules and stuff for all my clients. I got all my clients in there. And yeah, I think meal plans are really, really important when it comes to seeing success in dieting. And it's just, it's something to fall back on. Structure is great and it's always going to give you great results. So, with that being said, if you're interested in becoming a client, fill out the Calendly link that I'm going to leave in the description of this video, and we can hop on a call and see if my program's right for you. And if you're right for my program, then we can go from there. But yeah, this is what helped him lose 27 pounds, and I hope you guys learned how to do this on your own. You can always figure this stuff out. Again, use MyFitnessPal, use those tools, and then yeah, you're good to go. So be sure to like the video, be sure to subscribe, and follow me on Instagram, Sean Mason Fit. Post a lot of informative content on there, and I post my clients on there. It's always good to be in a community where you're seeing like-minded people go towards their goals and succeed. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and see ya.